I have already talked at length about the possible remakes that we might see for Fire Emblem games in the future. However, I have left out a crucial part of this discussion, that being the prospect of possible ports. And the port I see most often come up in forum discussions and fan communities is the possibility of a Fire Emblem Path of Radiance and Radiant Dawn HD remaster. So today, I think it's high time that we discuss what they might change, what they might add, and what they might do for a possible Tellius HD, as we discuss the possibilities presented by Fire Emblem ports. Firstly, I find it necessary to talk about why and when this might happen. Let's start with why. First of all, Tellius is one of the most well-known series of Fire Emblem games, yet it is one of the least played. The games are notoriously rare, hard to find, and incredibly expensive at second hand. So, a solution by porting an HD remake would be very good for giving newer players enamored with one of the most popular characters in the series, being the protagonist of the Tellius series, Ike, a chance to experience his games in the fullest in a very easily accessible format. And an HD remake would perfectly offer this. Additionally, the prospect of an HD remake coming out within the next few years is highly likely. Fire Emblem will celebrate its 30th anniversary in the year 2020, and by then, Fire Emblem Switch will already have come out, and they will be looking for some sort of anniversary title, and an HD remake package of both Fire Emblem Path of Radiance and Radiant Dawn would fit this bill perfectly. But that is, of course, mere speculation. Generally, it just boils down to the accessibility of Tellius needs a boost, and the fact that Ike is one of the series' most popular protagonists. And these two things, combined with the game's easy marketability and ability to leech off the engine of whatever FE Switch uses, is pretty simple and would create a very easy to release package that would print money quite effectively. Firstly, since this is an HD remaster and not a full-blown remake, I think there are a few things that we can expect and a few things that we should not expect. First of all, I don't think we can expect a whole overhaul in terms of map structure, supports, voice acting, etc. I think we'll definitely get new, updated voice actors, likely the ones from Heroes reprising their roles, redone cutscenes, and possibly a new set of artwork done by Kita Senri. As I mentioned both in my Fire Emblem 4 video and earlier in this one, this game will likely use the same engine that Fire Emblem Switch does, so we can expect the visuals to look at least very similar to that game, albeit with a tinge sided more towards classic Fire Emblem. I also think updated HUDs and menus will be added to the game to make it a bit more streamlined, and they might add a few more supports or perhaps adjust the biorhythm mechanic just a little. That being said, I think the games will mostly stay completely intact. There's also a very good chance if they were to do a Tellius remaster, it would be a package deal between both Path of Radiance and Radiant Dawn, allowing for save data transfer as well, so you could possibly carry over such things as inventory over to the next game, at least in some capacity. Obviously, due to story reasons, I could not wield the Ragnell in Part 3 of Radiant Dawn, but that's besides the point. Regardless, what makes this port an easy money scheme for Nintendo is the fact that the game already has a completely and totally done English script. All they need to do is update the visuals, update the menu displays, and bam, you basically have a new game that a lot of people haven't played that you can resell to the public on the Switch. And that is a huge selling point, especially when it has the most popular character in all of Fire Emblem, if you combine his Radiant Dawn and Path of Radiance votes from the CYL polls, Ike, in the game and likely on the cover as well. That being said, however, there are a few things that are holding back the possibility of a Tellius HD. The first of which is the prospect of the other two remakes I talked about in this mini-series. Fire Emblem 6 and Fire Emblem 4 have a lot of demand for a Western release, and Fire Emblem 4 especially needs a lot of improvements and has gained a lot of popularity thanks to Heroes, that I think it deserves the remake card first before Tellius HD or Binding Blade happens. But that being said, this is Nintendo, and they don't really care about order, so whatever they want to make that will print them the most money, I think they will go for. Additionally, by the time Tellius HD becomes a very likely possibility for an announcement, we will be approaching the series' 30th anniversary, And it's possible that since 2 years will have gone by since the release of Fire Emblem Switch, that they might choose to celebrate it instead with a full-blown main series title not connected to anything else, or perhaps a sequel to one of the series' most popular games, possibly even Awakening. This is, of course, far down the line, so we can never say for sure, but that's the beauty of speculation. So if you have any other ideas as what they might do to celebrate the 30th anniversary, please let me know in the comments. Actually, fuck it. The best thing they could do to improve both Path of Radiance and Radiant Dawn is just add the OST from the original Berserk.
Missed that song.
Ah, you're up.
About time.
Before I go, there's one more possibility that I'd like to discuss, and this is the idea of a Fire Emblem 30th Anniversary Collection. This would likely include every Western released Fire Emblem game up to and including Shadow Dragon. Basically, what this would be, it would be the first 2 GBA games released in the West, Fire Emblem 7 and Sacred Stones, followed by Path of Radiance, Radiant Dawn, and then a port of Shadow Dragon. This would all come to the Switch under one collective banner. I don't know, you could probably stick the Fire Emblem OVA somewhere in the options as well, and bada bing bada boom, you could sell this for $60 pretty easily and celebrate the anniversary that way. Kirby did a similar thing with its anniversary collection as well, which I have. And I think it would just be a good way to get the older Fire Emblem games into a nice, clean, accessible package where you can play 5 of some of the better ones, including one of Marth's games that maybe isn't so great, but is still worth playing. This, of course, is with the caveat that these would be direct ports without any updates whatsoever, so they'd be the raw original script of the game. I think the only thing that they could really add to it would be a casual mode, but that might be a little difficult to program given a few things. There's also the problem that Path of Radiance might need a bit more work than a lot of the other games, considering it was a GameCube release and is designed to function with those weird controller triggers that I keep hearing about as to why the Switch cannot have GameCube Virtual Console. But that's besides the point, but I do think it should be considered. Beyond that, I think the possibility of a Tellius HD is far more likely than an anniversary collection like this, but hey, it's still fun to think about. So there you have it, a few suggestions and possibilities on the possible idea of a Fire Emblem Path of Radiance and Radiant Dawn combined HD remaster. I personally would love to see this see the light of day, but can't see it happening until the Fire Emblem anniversary in 2020. But that being said, I would like to hear your thoughts down in the comments, and if you enjoyed this video, please do not hesitate to like, share, and subscribe as well. My name is ZerkMonsterHunter 4, and no matter what your favorite Fire Emblem protagonist is, and what game you want to see HD remade, as always, happy hunting.